Welcome everyone. Today's video finds us down here in Italia. We are in a place that was founded in 206 BC, somewhere in there. And what is significant about this place is this is the first Roman settlement on the Iberian Peninsula. And it's also the birthplace of one of the best emperors from Rome, for Trajan. And I don't know if Hadrian was born here, but Trajan for sure was born in this little town. And he later on led Rome to its greatest extent. It was one of the probably top 3 emperors of all time of the Roman Empire. Anyway, that's not important, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at some of the ruins here and take a look and see what we see today. So let's enjoy this. This is kind of out here in the middle of nowhere. It's about 11 kilometers north of Seville. They have the bathrooms, they have an audio-visual room, and then we go over here into the ruins. There's some murals, there's the old walls, there's all the stuff here. I think the outer walls encompass an area of about 50 hectares, so it's a very large site. I've been wanting to see this for a long time, so this should be pretty cool. First thing we're going to look at here is this amphitheater. And it's kind of in bad shape on this side of it, but this would have been like tunnels and stuff that would have led you on into the inside, and then there would have been seating around up there. So let's go down in here and then we'll go up on the top. You can see a little bit of what's left of the columns here. And they held these big granite bricks in, or blocks, and they also used a lot of concrete. So they would put the concrete core and they'd haul in river rock, mix up the concrete and build the structure, and then they would line the outside with the finished touch of this granite. You can see here how they would have had an arch, and then it goes back in that way also. Okay, so you have these footprints right here, and this is kind of interesting. This shows like it was like a cult following, and there was a room right over here that was for the goddess Nemesis. And the footprints like symbolizes like the divine presence here. And then you go right into here into the arena. And this one is just absolutely massive. So the condition of the bottom here looks like it's really nice. The bricks up top for all the seating and all that have kind of weathered out. But this is gigantic. So you would have had the gladiator fights in here, and this would have been covered. So the gladiators would have fought on a platform up above this, and then they would have had this down below. That would have been the inner workings of the arena. And I don't know how many people this would have seated, probably, I don't know, at least 10,000 I would say. I'm not sure, but that's just kind of a rough guess. And then this is the way that they would have came in, and the people also. So some of these would have had 3 main gates. This one looks like it has 2. See the marble across the top, and then they used the brick here, and then they would have whitewashed it and made it really nice. So the history is kind of vague about the start of this town. There's like, it was a series of acquisitions of the Iberian Peninsula by the Romans. They kind of took it in little steps, and it was finally pacified completely in like 25 BC when the north was taken by Augustus. And Julius Caesar did some acquisition here. The locals were put up a pretty stout defense. And then you had the Carthaginians also. And there's a town, Meridia, that's about 100 kilometers away from here that has some amazing ruins also. This is cool. All right, so let's go in here and let's see what this looks like. So you have like the walkway in here. Oh, and you can see the size of it. And they did all the brickwork and all the arches. And then this would have led up to the top. So in these, and then they would have had a statue right here that's not here. So they would have had, like, the slaves and the poor people would have been seated up top, and then the more important people would have been down below. Oh, this is quite cool though. And they would have had statues here also. And it's pretty nice, these little windows lets in natural light. And then this long tunnel here. Yeah, really cool. I like the arches up at the top. And you can see different parts of this arena. And you can see a little bit of the restorations and stuff like that. So they would have put the brick core with the cement and everything, and then they would have put this on the front to kind of decorate it. Okay, so let's go up to the top here and see what we can see. So we're up top here. Looks like part of it's fallen off. They got it boarded up. So this part of the arena would have been reserved for the equestrian class. And they would have probably had some pretty good seats here. Yeah, so this is what you would have seen from up here. Oh yeah, this is cool. And their seats would have been over here. And they had covers. They'd pull like a tarp over the top of these and give some shade. Yeah, really cool. And there was two different types of gladiator fighting that went on here. There were like hunting events where they would hunt wild animals. And then there was the people fighting each other, the gladiatorial combat. And then you see the access to the upper levels for the slaves, and the poor people would have been able to go up there. So here's actually a drawing of what it would have looked like. So this would have been covered, and you could see all the different rows. This would have been seating, and then they would have had a top row all the way up over there. And that would have been at a height of 38 meters. And it's kind of in a natural hole here. You can see the regular, like it's built into a hill so they could save building material. And you can see how this would have been built to go back up to the upper levels. Really huge blocks that they moved in here. Lots of work. That's all blocked off. You can't go back up in there. All right, so that's all that arena. Let's keep on going up in here. You can see the back side of it here with the brick and all that concrete. Yeah, this is a nice area. Now to get in here was only €1.50, which is really cheap. So it's like 45 baht to come into this site. So these are some of the city walls, and this would have been a gate right here. And this would have given you access to the new neighborhoods that were built out here. You can see the drain. They would have had walls, sewers, and everything else throughout this whole area. This would have been probably whitewashed. And you can see down here more drains underneath the road. So I came all the way up here on this hill. So we have a statue, and then you can see around the countryside. It's pretty dry here. They don't get a whole lot of rain. It's kind of on this plateau. Over here is like a river, and then over that way is getting close to Seville. And then down in there you can see some churches and stuff like that. But the whole site is right here. There's all kinds of buildings, and there's a lot more here to it that have not been excavated. They're doing a little bit of excavation around, but it's quite cool. They have these cedar trees that kind of ring the place, and then we can see some of the bases of the buildings and all of that. And then there's a nice little courtyard over there. This is a fantastic house here. So this would have been a 4-room house. Each room would have had a different mosaic on the floor. Over there you can see pictures of the gods and animals, and over here is just a geometric pattern, same as here and over there. And the walls would have been painted, would have been just beautiful. And then you can see the columns that would have separated, or would have gave you like a little walkway around the front. And you can see like just various bases of the floors with all the mosaics. And you can see all of these also. So this floor, these little stones have lasted 2,000 years, and here they are today for us to enjoy. And just more of them all around, and more yet to be uncovered over that way. Oh wow, check this one out. So they've actually put a cover over the top of it to protect this from the elements. And this is a mosaic of Neptune. You can see the trident right there, and then the other wild beasts, animals, birds. Oh, this is very, very cool. And then right over here, this looks like maybe a bath that would have been right here. And then there's ongoing excavations going on right there. And there's plenty to do up this little hill. And I've read about these right here. This is quite cool. So this is a tabernet, I think is how you pronounce it. And they would have made bread here. Now what they would do is they would set up places near their homes. It had to be a separate place. It couldn't be built in the house. And they would use it to make side money. Like here was a little bakery. And it was basically like early restaurants or fast food. And they would have made that right here. Oh, really cool. Yeah, so here we go. There's all kinds of little houses here. And some of the houses were divided up into smaller rooms. And then this would have been the public, like little walkway. You would have had the garden. These would have had all the columns around. This would have been covered. The walkway would have been covered. And the middle right here would have been open. And then you can see here some really nice murals, or some mosaics also. Oh, this one's cool. So mosaic of the birds. So 33 different bird species. Oh, that's fantastic. Now my grandma made, or she still makes, bird block quilts. So she hand embroiders quilts, and it would have looked just like this. Well, they look just like this, except for stitched instead of in little stones. So there's 33 different bird species displayed here. That's really cool. You got a chicken right there even. All right, and that's this whole little area here. Looks like we have another room right here. So what this is this is the larium, and this is where they would have had an altar here for one of the gods, the god Lar, and this was the home protector. This would have been an important place here for the Romans. And this looks like a little fountain, has the mosaics, and you can see they did the mosaic around the outside on the walls also. And there's just more to it up there. So maybe 30, 40 years, they'll uncover all of this and we can see this again, what it looks like. And then up here, this would have been the private households. You can see every one of these floors had a mosaic. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. And then the community walkways also had them. Now there was supposed to be a Medusa. I think that one might have been right there. That would have been a Medusa head at one time. Yeah, this is what the Medusa head would have looked like whenever it was there. And there's tons of stuff out here. Now over here is a big, huge community building. Let's take a look at it. This is the largest building on this site. It's 4,000 square meters. It would have had arches and columns, and then it would have had different rooms. I think this was a collective building here where council meetings were, everything else. And what's cool is it has a community bathroom right here. So it's made out of marble, and it's got the little holes right there. You could take care of business and talk to your friend. And they even had mosaics right here with the birds and the people. And then this is the drain. So this would have drained right into the central area underneath the road, and then would have just washed out to sea or wherever into the river. That drain from the bathroom would have came right here, and right underneath the road is the central drain, and you can see it right here. So all the drains from all the houses and everything else would have came right here, and then it would have went downhill and been disposed of. Looks like we got more bases of buildings and some of the marble columns. And there's just several of these all out through here. Wow, this is a beautiful, beautiful mosaic. And you can see the horse right there in the middle. And again, this has got 3 rooms. It's got a huge room and then 2 smaller rooms. And then this would have led over here, and this would have probably been like a pool or a central meeting, like a, I don't know, bath area. And then another room over there. Yeah, so you can see right there, there's a bath or something with the drain. So they call this here the Casa del Planetario, or the planetarium house. So you had a house here with commercial business all around it, and this took up half of a block. And one of the mosaics looks like a planetarium. Yeah, so here it is right here. So you have the sun right there in the middle, and then you have Jupiter, you have Mars and Mercury and Saturn all in this mosaic. Oh, this is amazing. I really like this one. Yeah, you can see how wide this road is. And they would have had houses and everything else all along here. And there's just stuff guaranteed underneath here. Now they say a lot of the really valuable stuff was looted off over the centuries from here. I mean, this is 2,200 years old and has been abandoned for a long time. So people have came over here and dug around and taken stuff that's easy to take and sell out of here. So what you see here is this is the Thermus Maioris. And this is a humongous public bath. So this covers 32,000 square meters. That'll finish up our video over here at this humongous Roman city. This, like I said at the start of the video, this is the first Roman city or Roman settlement here in Spain. And it goes back to what, like 232 BC or something like that. And the Romans slowly over the years expanded their hold over all of Spain. This was an important province. It was still a provincial area. The Romans kind of looked down at it as far as being like, you know, country bumpkins out here. They weren't true Romans because they were out here. But it still was very important. Spain had some important like silver and lead and gold that they would mine. Also, olive oil was very important, and this was just a really rich area for it. This city here is where Trajan was born. They know for sure that Trajan was born here, and he was the first emperor that was not born in Rome. And he was a very good Roman emperor that expanded the kingdom and kind of stabilized it in a time of tribulations. Anyway, this whole site is really cool. It's kind of primitive excavations, but what you do see, you know, like the mosaics and stuff like that, are fantastic. The arena amphitheater thing, that is really cool to walk around and see. That's the highlight, but I also like to see, you know, the houses and all of that. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, definitely smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and then you get notified when I post a new video. I show you things that I see, like, you know, and go walk around. I show you things that I see and tell you a little bit about what I know. I'm not an expert, but I really enjoy this kind of stuff. So if you want to see this, then you're in the right place. And definitely subscribe. That really helps me out. And leave me a comment. Tell me what you think if you've been here, or if you know more about it, let me know also. But anyway, from over here in Italia in Spain, remember, life is a journey. So until next time, enjoy.